Hi everyone. Today we're talking to Marina about research. And research, ancestral research is such an important part of what we do. It's a bit of a myth that Germany doesn't have good records. The truth is that Germany does. They're somewhat fragmented and it depends. But how do we work with researchers? What do we need? Where do we go? How does it all work? If you give us a quick rundown.
So there's actually really lots and good researchers in Germany, in archives and registry offices. So that's where you start normally your research. If you need vital records, birth certificates, marriage certificates, if you do know where your ancestor was born, that's a good start.
Yes.
Because it makes it so much more easy. Because then we can reach out directly to that registry office. And then it's a bit, sometimes they write you straight back and say, yep, we have that, or they redirect you into other archives because it depends how long ago it was, or, you might have to look somewhere else. But yeah, that's sort of mainly where we start.
Because one of the other myths is, and I think with portals like ancestry.com where you can type in someone's name and you get things come out at you, is that Germany's got some sort of a centralized database of everybody. It's a bit like, I met this guy named Klaus. Do you know him? He's German. It just doesn't work like that, right?
No,
so you do have to have precise information to be able to find the information firstly, and secondly to access it, because privacy is a really big thing in Germany, right?
Yeah, and it, we normally, if we sign you up for research, there's the first thing you have to sign is the letter of authority, so we can do the work on your behalf. And there's some registry offices that will email us back and say, can we also get the birth certificate? Can we also get a copy? So it varies. Some are very, very German and they want 3 different kinds of proofs, and then sometimes the letter of authority is enough, but they definitely don't hand out any information without that you authorized us to do so.
And I think that's a good thing, because in today's day and age where people's identities can be cloned or whatever, it's very, we follow proper procedures, and I think if questions are being asked, it's for good reasons. It's to protect people. One of the biggest archives that I have ever come across is the Bad Arolsen archive that's got records, I think 1933 to 1955 or something like that. What is it? Tell us more.
So it's an amazing archive and holds a lot of records about World War II and especially persecution. So Jewish people, a lot of...
For the entire Europe, I think it's not just Germany.
I mostly use it for the German pathway, but lots of documentations, also concentration camp lists, also letters, for example, after the war, a lot of they had sort of a search,
like a database of people looking for each other.
Exactly. And they have a big database of that where you can, another client the other day, I found a letter where he's looking for his brother, and all there,
It's so special.
And then the correspondence too from the authorities back that they haven't found anything yet, or so very, very big database on all sorts of records. Also very confronting at times.
Because what essentially happened when the war ended, there were 3 zones in Germany. So Germany was divided into British, American and Russian zone. And people that were displaced and found themselves in Germany often applied to immigrate elsewhere. So you'll find, on top of what you've just said, also immigration records of people,
a lot,
applying to go to Canada but not getting through, and applying to America, not getting through, needing to then immigrate to Argentina or wherever. And all of that information's there. Sometimes you find photos, handwritten records, a lot of background information. So we use that to shape our steps into researching. The other thing that's always very helpful is our records from other countries. So we will ask you to give us your grandfather's death certificate, let's say. because even though you might not know it, his parents' names might be on it, and that sort of helps us to map it out.
Yeah.
And then reach out to the German archives to give us what we need, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Death certificates is a really good example that has maybe missing information because, you might know your grandfather's name and all the details, but you don't know the great-grandparents' details, which then might be on there. Same other documents might list a marriage date. Often you find that on German birth certificates, actually. Back then, they used to just hand write it on the birth certificate if something happened.
Oh, like
Let's
a
say
family
you're married.
book.
Yeah. So which is great because, you might have not known that marriage date of your grandparents, but I have found the birth certificate of the grandmother that then states the number where she married, which is great. They were very thorough back then.
Yes, and which is great because we can benefit from it now. And because we do all kinds of nationalities, we have comparison, I guess, with, between Polish or Czech archives and German archives. And confirm it, please, Marina, but German archives are pretty efficient, right? It doesn't take that long. If they've got something, we can get it quite quickly.
Yeah, it depends, but they are mostly quite quick. The bigger the city, Berlin, the longer it takes. Berlin gets flooded with everything.
I went to visit the Berlin archives late last year, and it's they're massive institutions, and there are several archives, not just one.
Yeah, and to be honest, if that's in your ancestry, in your family tree, and we offer research, we'll be quite honest, straight up, and say, look, it's Berlin. It'll take us a little bit longer because they also don't like to be reminded.
So they like to work at their own pace.
Yeah, and we don't want to. Be on their bad side. But Berlin takes a little bit longer.
Yeah, but in terms of steps, so typically, if you're engaging us to do research for you, we will map out a plan.
Yeah.
And we share that plan with you at the very beginning. We tell you what we're going to be doing and where. And we write them letters. First of all, you need to authorize us to act on your behalf. And then we'll be liaising with the archives. And depending on what those research efforts yield, sometimes we might get the document right away. Other times they might redirect us elsewhere. Other times we have to remind them that they don't like it. Or sometimes we have to go back to square one because the information that you gave us is incorrect. Yeah. That happens quite a bit. Not because you meant to give us incorrect information, but because what you knew is incorrect in some way, or people's spelling, name of, all kinds of things can go wrong. But in any case, the pathway to that would be that we'll keep you updated of the efforts, and at the end we end up with dossier of documents that enables us to then apply for citizenship, or sometimes not, although not very often. Mostly we
not very common that we don't find anything.
We get and the secondary benefit out of all that is that you'll get extra information about your family. So whether IT is in Bad Arolsen or Berlin Archives or somewhere else, whatever we get, we share with you. And it makes for a very interesting family conversation once you get all the records there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you also have those records for the next generations to come. Who might be interested in that.
Fabulous, thank you. Again, I encourage you to contact Marina for more information if you do have German heritage, German ancestry, or your family lived in Germany at some point. Thank you.